The front door slammed so violently the framed wedding photo in the hallway wobbled on its nail, hanging crooked, a tiny spiderweb of glass fractured at the corner. I was still gripping the dish towel, knuckles white, when she stepped inside, cheeks flushed in the crisp October wind, eyes shining as if she'd solved every problem we'd ever had. "Liam," she said, breathless, dropping her duffel by the shoe rack. "I was wrong to leave. You're my soulmate." I felt at the moment the plane landed in Denver without her. Her words hit like warm whiskey, sweet at first, then burning. 2 weeks ago, she'd packed that same duffel, told me she needed space to breathe, kissed my cheek like it was farewell. Since then, every night, I'd stared at the empty side of the bed, replaying our fight. Her late nights, the perfume I didn't recognize, the way she flinched when my phone lit up with her name. Now she was back, arms open, expecting a rewrite of the story. Relief should have followed. Instead, the dish towel slipped from my hands, dragging across the tile like surrender. "Soulmate," I repeated, tasting the word. It felt foreign, like a language I'd once known fluently. "Funny, Jake said the same thing about you last month." Her smile wavered, just a flicker, but I caught it, the subtle twitch of her left eye when she lied. Jake, her college ex, the one whose name still autofilled when I borrowed her phone to order pizza, the one whose hoodie she swore she'd thrown out years ago, but I found folded in her gym bag last week. Faint cologne clinging like a ghost. Mia's arms dropped. Jake's ancient history. History texts at 2 a.m. I said, voice low, calm in a way that precedes a storm tearing the roof off. History sends voice notes that make you cry in the bathroom. She opened her mouth, closed it. The hallway light caught the tears brimming, but not falling. I wanted to scream, shake her until the truth rattled out like loose change. But my body felt hollow, ribs echoing with every heartbeat. "Liam, it was a mistake," she whispered. "The break, it wasn't about you. I got scared. 10 years, mortgage, the baby talks we keep postponing. Jake was easy. Nostalgia. I thought seeing him one last time could close the door. One last time." The phrase lodged in my throat. I pictured him in that airport hotel bar she'd mentioned casually. Dim lights, her laughing at jokes I'd never heard, his hand sliding up her knee under the table while I microwaved leftover lasagna for one. "How many doors did you open, Mia?" My voice cracked. She stepped closer, palms raised as if I were a spooked animal. "Once. I swear. Clumsy. Awful. Over in 10 minutes. I left his room crying because all I could think about was how your hands know exactly where my freckles are. The image detonated behind my eyes. Her skin under hotel fluorescent lights, his mouth on the constellation I'd memorized on our honeymoon. I backed into the kitchen, palms slamming the counter. Granite cold and real, the only thing anchoring me. 10 minutes, I said. You threw us away for 10 minutes. "No," she followed, voice trembling. "I almost did, but I came home, Liam. Doesn't that count?" I laughed, a sound like shattering glass. "You came home because Denver was cold, and Jake's mattress smelled like cheap detergent. Don't dress it up as destiny." Her face crumpled. She reached for me. I flinched, elbow knocking the coffee mug off the counter. It shattered, brown sludge splattering across the floor like dried blood. We both stared at the mess, neither moving to clean it. Upstairs, the bedroom clock ticked loud enough to hear. Nights I'd lain awake listening to that tick, wondering if she was staring at a hotel ceiling somewhere, whispering someone else's name. "I deleted his number," she said. "Blocked him everywhere. I'll give you my phone, passwords, anything. Trust isn't a login, Mia." The word scraped raw. It's the thing that keeps you from needing proof. Silence stretched, thick as the steam rising from the spilled coffee. She sank to the floor among the shards, knees drawn up, wedding ring glinting as she hugged herself. I watched the woman I carried over the threshold to houses ago rock like a child. Part of me wanted to kneel and gather the pieces of the broken mug. The other part, rehearsed in darker hours, stayed rooted. "I love you," she whispered to the tiles. "I'm disgusting and terrified, and I love you so much. It's why I ran. What if I ruined the best thing I've ever had?" I crouched, close enough to smell her shampoo, coconut, and regret. You already did. Her sob broke free, shoulders shaking. I felt it in my sternum, a seismic crack. 10 years of inside jokes, burnt dinners, 3 a.m. confessions of childhood fears reduced to kitchen floor wreckage. Outside, the neighbor's sprinkler hissed, oblivious. I thought of the life we'd scripted. Kids with her eyes, a dog that chewed slippers, retirement on a beach where sand wouldn't judge us. All balanced on this moment. Tell me the truth, I said, voice barely above the sprinkler. All of it. Then I'll decide if there's anything left to save. She lifted her head, mascara rivers streaking her cheeks, but her gaze steady. Ask me anything. So I did. Every question I'd swallowed for weeks poured out. Dates, places, words exchanged in the dark. She answered, flinching at each memory as if it were a fresh burn, when she reached the part about almost not coming home. The airport terminal, return ticket, choosing the gate to me instead, something in my chest unclenched just a fraction. Hours later, the coffee had dried into a rust-colored map on the floor. We hadn't moved. My niece had cried, her eyes swollen shut. The crooked wedding photo still hung upstairs, fractured glass holding on. I don't know how to trust you again, I said finally. I know, she whispered, but I'm here to earn it. One day, one truth at a time. If you let me. I looked at her, really looked. The girl who stole my fries, cried at commercials, promised forever in a courthouse hallway with a $5 ring. She was still there, buried under the damage. I stood, legs numb, extended a hand. She stared like it might vanish, then took it, fingers ice cold, grip desperate. I pulled her up slowly, careful of the glass. We start with counseling, I said, and separate rooms until I can breathe without tasting him on you. She nodded, tears dripping off her chin. Whatever you need. I released her hand before I was ready, before warmth could trick me into forgiving too soon. She stayed in the kitchen. I climbed the stairs alone. In the bedroom, I straightened the crooked frame. The crack in the glass split our smiles in two, but the photo stayed. Some breaks you glue back together piece by jagged piece. Some you don't. Only time would tell which ours was. For now, the house was quiet, save for the soft sweep of a broom downstairs, Mia cleaning up the mess we'd made.